Hello friends. So I am currently on my 3-month pilgrimage around Europe, and our first stop, I'm here with my partner, is Malaga, Spain, and we've been here for about 4 days. And so far it's been really, really magical, and just the Mediterranean food has been so great. And I have Maltese in my ancestry, and that's a Mediterranean island, so I just feel like that food taste is like in my blood, and it's just been so good. All the olives and almonds and fish, and everything's been super cheap, which has been really stress relieving, like less than half of what it would be in the United States. And everyone's just been so friendly, and the culture's been very vibrant, and it's been a lot of fun to practice my Spanish, and which is like very, very minimal, but it's just been so much fun and cool and ancient, and seeing these like old Roman buildings and old Roman theaters and foundations to buildings, even Phoenician foundations, which is even older than Rome. And there's actually a castle it's on the hill behind me that we're going to tomorrow, that has like Phoenician foundations, and then Roman, and then Moorish, which is like an Arabic style castle. So very fun, very cool, but that's not really why I came here, and that's what I wanted to talk about on this video, is what does it mean to be on pilgrimage. And so this is what I'm calling this trip. It's not just like this 3-month vacation to la-di-da and have fun and Maya or Babylon and just like buy a bunch of stuff and see a bunch of cool things. There's a lot more to it than that, and so that's why I like to call it a pilgrimage, because the more I call it that, the more I feel like I can really make it more intentional, and it becomes more of a pilgrimage. And so what is a pilgrimage? And I can only explain it through me and through my own lens of what I think a pilgrimage is. And the way I can best explain it is that so there's 2 different kinds of pilgrimages, and there's like the common one where you make a trip out of going to a sacred site. So usually it involves like going on a journey somewhere physical outside of yourself, to another country or another land to visit a sacred site. So the sacred site could be a cathedral with holy relics from a saint, or it could be like a sacred place, a landscape that holds a lot of meaning to you, which might be a popular place that a lot of people go to from around the world, or it might just be something that's really personal for yourself, like maybe a pilgrimage to visit your ancestors in this cemetery in England or something, or it might be going to a Hanuman temple in India, or it might be going to a Buddhist temple in Thailand, or the Vatican is a pilgrimage, or so many different places outside of yourself that you can go and visit that might be something very special for you, that you go to help to connect you with something higher than yourself. So that might be God, that might be you might call it God, you might call it spirit, you might call it your higher self, or whatever you want to use, but it brings about something that inside of yourself that makes you feel better in one kind of way of looking at it. So but feel better in a deep way, right? Like a more spiritual, divine way. So that's one way of describing pilgrimage. And then the other way of describing a pilgrimage is an internal pilgrimage. So making the intention to go on a pilgrimage within yourself. Now this can mean not moving anywhere. You can just stay in your bedroom and go on pilgrimage. And what that means is traversing the inner landscape of the self. So journeying through the pathways, or the adventure of the mind to get to the sacred site that is within yourself. So that can look like meditation, that can look like yoga, it can look like doing your sadhana practice, any spiritual practice that resonates with you. It can look like painting or drawing or dancing or but doing something intentionally, that's the point. It must be intentional to connect with your higher self, or with the divine, with your sacred, true divine nature. And when you set that intention and then you go inward through any of these practices, that is a pilgrimage. That is a pilgrimage to connect with that sacred site within your own heart, or however you want to phrase it. So for me, that is my kind of intention, is to go on this pilgrimage that is external but also internal, and internal and also external. And so it's kind of exciting because I feel like when you combine the two, it can really amplify it, the experience. And I feel like either one, personally, I feel like either one can work. But what's the most important part of it to really make it a true pilgrimage is setting that intention. So whether it's external or whether it's internal. But I feel like if you can combine both, that it becomes extra powerful. And so that's kind of my intention for this journey. And when you can actually go outside of yourself on pilgrimage, what makes it extra beneficial is that you see things that you don't normally see every day, right? You don't normally, you're not driving the same route to work every day, where you see the same tree and the same building and the same rock and the same stop sign. You're not talking to the same people every day that you usually talk to, your coworkers and your family and your friends. You're not in the same culture where you're speaking the same language or the same collective mindset that there is in Detroit, or that's different than the collective mindset that I feel like is here in Malaga. So far, I've witnessed a vibe that is very lively and colorful, and there's just this happiness here, and I think that there's a lot of factors for why that is. But I do feel like that there is like an objective difference when you travel to different countries and just a different collective mindset. So getting outside of your regular routine on occasion, so just stepping outside of it on occasion, going on vacations just in general is just really helpful. But because it can kind of help with breaking those algorithms of life that we just kind of get stuck in. So when you see the same thing, you start thinking about the same things, and you start getting in this like loop of thoughts that it just keeps going and going, and it gets more and more calcified in the mind because you're not experiencing variety that helps to kind of make your, grow your neural pathways and expand it and make new connections. And so going on vacations in general is just really helpful for that. But when you combine it with seeking the sacred, it just adds a whole nother element of depth to it that is very freeing and brings a magic and a mystery into life that you wouldn't normally see. So it just makes the whole experience so much more rich than just a vacation. And what's important though is that you need to keep it active. So a mindful, active approach as you're externally going on your pilgrimage, witnessing your thoughts as they arise, just witnessing your emotions as they arise, and seeing these lenses that we look through day to day, that the way that we see life through is so ingrained in us, we can't even see the lens anymore. We can't even see the lens that we're looking through anymore. So I feel like when you really step outside of your comfort zone and go into these places that are just so different, people are speaking different languages, totally different landscapes, when you can do that, I think it can really help to decalcify and break up those neural pathways and break up like the conditioning and the programming and the lenses that we're looking life through, and be able to see things more clearly. It like cleans up the lens, or it kind of breaks it up, and then you can like see through the lens, and you can see like the magic on the other side. You can see the light coming through. You can see how the other people, other beings are so similar to you, and you start to feel that connection with other people. Yeah, so it's something that I'm very excited about, as you probably can tell. And I just wanted to come on here to make that point that there's an external pilgrimage and an internal pilgrimage. So if you want to go on pilgrimage and you're not able to quite make that journey into a whole different external landscape, you can set the intention to traverse an internal pilgrimage within the mind to connect with that sacred essence within yourself. And you can do it in the same way as you can do it in an external pilgrimage. You'll get to the same source. It's just one's external, one's internal. So thank you for listening, and I hope that this was empowering for you to maybe create your own internal pilgrimage for yourself, or external pilgrimage if you can. And may you have a beautiful day. Blessings.